Well, now the former deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria and the presidential candidate of the platform on the Young Progressive Party, Kingsley Moghalu, joins me now on the news to share his thoughts on the recent development in the National Assembly. Thank you for your time here.
Thank you.
On the News Hour.
Thank you.
So right now there has been outright condemnation since the whole drama ensued earlier today, where the DSS prevented lawmakers from entering the National Assembly to perform their constitutional rights, so to speak. But let's start with this. What are your thoughts on what happened earlier today?
Well, I think what happened in Nigeria today is just one more escalation in the series of tragedies that have befallen this country. A total collapse of leadership, a total collapse of the rule of law in this country. This country is sliding into anarchy. The government of the day has no respect for the rule of law. That is why what happened today happened. Now, let me be very clear. What happened today should make the point very clearly to every Nigerian that between the APC and the PDP, there is no salvation for this country. It is time for a paradigm shift in this country, and we need to retire all these politicians, because they're not even playing politics, they're just playing politics, tricking Nigerians for their own stomach, cross-carpeting from one party to the other, invading the legislative house. I mean, is this the 21st century, or is it the 18th century? Only in Nigeria can you see this sort of thing. It's sad, and I think it's time for Nigerians to rise up. Let us stop complaining. That is why I have offered myself to lead Nigeria into the 21st century as president of this country in 2019.
Right, but following this development, the presidency had taken the bull by the horn by removing the DSS, that's the DG of the DSS, Lawal Dara, and putting in a new person to take his stead. That's Seyefa Matthews. But the presidency, like it was being circulated around the media that it had a hand in what happened earlier on today, and the presidency denied having such wind of such information and took its decision by letting go of the DSS boss. And right now there's so much speculation on what this scenario could mean to our democratic values as a country. What do you think it could portend going forward, and the likely repercussions?
Well, if you had watched me carefully when you were saying those things, you would have noticed my eyebrows rising in skepticism about any explanations you're getting. The track record of this government is a track record of absolute disregard for the rule of law. Court orders have been issued, and this government has completely, totally, and utterly disregarded those court orders. What are we to make of it? So what this means is that this is a government that is becoming increasingly desperate. There are elements in this government that are also becoming increasingly desperate for whatever reason and whatever their vested interests are. I think, and I say once again, the ball is in the court of all of us Nigerians now. 200 million of us. We should rise up and take our destiny in our own hands and send these corrupt and lawless politicians into retirement. We need a paradigm shift in this country.
By saying Nigerians should take the destiny in their own hands, yes. How do you mean? What are you trying to say?
What I mean is that these politicians have kept Nigerians in a state of slavery, in a state of bondage. You find Nigerians, many of them, even though they don't like what these politicians are doing, they will still be making excuses. Oh, what can you do? The PDP and the APC are the two big parties. This is a slave mentality. We must end it. The reality people talk about, quote unquote, was created by human beings. Another reality can be created by you and me when we use our permanent voter's card and vote in a new crop of modern, competent, visionary leaders for this country that will make life better for our children and our youth. That's what we need, not these invasions of the National Assembly, disregard for court orders, corruption, cross-carpeting, not based on any ideology or any principle. APC and the PDP are like a kettle and a pot. APC is a kettle, the PDP is a pot. They're both black. They're the same thing. So there is no choice between these two parties. There's a choice between the old recycled politicians and a new future for Nigeria. That's my argument.
All right, let's still look on an issue of, let's move away from this drama now that happened earlier on.
One day, one drama.
Yeah. Well, let's look on the issue of elections now, which we're, fast approaching towards. Yeah. Now, the voter registration exercise is going to end on the 17th of August.
Yes.
Now, do you think INEC did enough to, sensitize the people or to involve more Nigerians in the electoral process now?
I don't think so.
Why?
I am against ending voter registration on the 17th of August. In the 2015 elections, registration went on till December 2014. That's what I am calling for, and several other people are calling for. We must extend voter registration in this country till December 2018 for the February elections.
But the INEC has come out to say that it has to, extend or rather stop this exercise temporarily for some time to ensure that the PVCs that are registered in their domain are produced and, for collection. And it has been said that, stakeholders are in agreement with the INEC on this decision.
We are
stakeholders
not,
like yourself,
it is not clear to us that stopping the elections
temporarily.
If it's temporary, and if it's temporary, when will it resume?
It said after the elections, 2019 elections.
Then that's not good enough. That's not good enough. I don't see any excuse why we cannot continue registering people. It's just a question of competence. It's just a question of organization. A lot of people are going to be disenfranchised in this election, even those that they have registered and given PVCs. There are many people that have registered, have temporary PVCs, but they're not able to produce permanent PVCs. Why? That's the question we're asking. Why? Is it today that INEC started holding elections in this country? Why is it that logistics always overwhelm them? We know how much. Look at, they're telling us they need 200, the government is telling us they need 260 something billion naira to run elections. In an election that we have a voter register of maybe about 70 or 80 million people. Now, the same amount was used in India for an election in which 600 million people voted. What is so special about Nigeria that for 80 million people to vote, you have to spend 260 something billion naira? This country, the way this country is run is as if it's a joke. And like I keep saying, the solutions, I'm tired of complaining. I'm in the mood of action. And I think all of us as citizens should step into the action as sport. Now,
still on the matters of election, the INEC has come out to say that the turnout, or rather the collection of PVCs, is really, really low, and it's late claim of states in the southeast, particular Ebonyi state. According to INEC, it said, and I quote, out of 47,117 unclaimed voter cards before 2017, only 400 PVCs have been collected. This is quite worrying because right now we're just talking about some few months before the elections proper. How do you think stakeholders like yourself, can help reawaken the consciousness of people to know the importance of PVC's collection? Because 2019 elections is just around the corner.
This is what I've done for the past 6 months. I made a video which was sent around, went viral, talking about the importance of voter registration. We must continue to sensitize our citizens. The amount of voter apathy in this country is just frightening. It's frightening because the people are defeated, because the people feel hopeless, because the people feel that their votes will not count, because the people feel that even voting for these same old recycled politicians will not bring a change in their lives. So we need to really make Nigerians believe in themselves once again. We need to give ourselves, each other, hope that there's a better tomorrow for our country. I believe that Nigeria's best days are still ahead, and that will only happen when there's a new government headed by visionary young men and women in this country. We need a generational shift. We need a paradigm shift. That's why I am in the arena.
And on that positive note, I'd like to thank you very much, Kingsley Moghalu, presidential aspirant for YPP. We appreciate your thoughts.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.